Hey guys, how's it going? I'm back with a replay here between Sweaty Cheese, what a legendary name, up against Master Corner Camp, and it is going to be Dark Elves up against Vampire Coast, two of my most hated factions to play against. They're both very powerful factions all round. It's just, I guess I don't play them too often, so therefore they can be quite hard to take down. Anyway, for the forces of the Dark Elves here, it looks like in the front line we do have bleak swords, cheap, cheerful, but they should be able to carve through the chaff of the Vampire Coast very effectively here. In the secondary line, we have a couple of units of Shades, which they can certainly do the job as well. They're going to be Stalks. They get nice and close to the enemy lines before taking down those pesky zombies, so I quite like that pick indeed. And we have Double Hydra. We have a War Hydra here over on the left-hand flank, and as well as the Chill of Sontar, the Regiment of Renowned War Hydra. Now, these guys you would expect maybe aren't so good up against Coast. They're large targets, cannons can shoot them, there's a lot of pesky handgunners as well. However, they do come in with regeneration, which gives them a certain amount of stay in power. If your enemy's not prepared for them, they can certainly drag down quite a few of those zombies. We do have a Sorceress of Beasts as well, coming with Manticore Salmon, looks like Pan's Impenetrable Pelt, as well as Wyson's Wild Form. An interesting toolkit, don't get to see these two spells too often, but of course, Transformation of Condon, Summoning Manticores is always fantastic up against the Pirate Boys. Lokir Felhard is going to be the Lord of Choice today with his awesome Kraken Helm here. Going to be coming in equipped with Deadly Onslaught as well as Dreaded Duelist, and he is bringing his Helm of the Kraken. So he's an interesting pick in this matchup. He does have regeneration. He's certainly going to have to beat down some of the Coast Lords as well. And then we have Quad Dark Riders as well with shields. Now, unfortunately, Master Corner Camper's name does seem to... at least he's honest about it, I suppose, but he is actually going to be camping in the corner. For any new players, please don't do this on ladder. It's not a good way to get a particularly great reputation. This battle was in fact sent in by the other gentleman, so we'll see how it turns out. I've not actually seen this one yet. So it looks like for the Vampires hiding and cowering in the corner, he does have a couple of mortars in the back line. Very good up against Dark Elves and High Elves, simply because they have such tightly packed formations. They can do some huge work, especially if you're expecting a ton of Dark Shards and the like. So he has mortars all the way into the sunset, so yeah, an absolute bucket load of those guys. He also has two carronades in here, so getting very, very heavy on artillery here. Shade Wraith gunners as well as deck gunners in a secondary line as well, hidden behind zombie pirate gunnery mobs and polearms. Now, my worry about this build is it's simply going to get run over. He has a ton of missiles, like a crazy amount of artillery and ranged troops. Perhaps he's relying on the fact that he is kind of high camping in the corner, that the enemy won't be able to break through, but zombies aren't the toughest of fellows, so I think a decent build can certainly crack this one down, but we'll have to wait and see. Looks like he has gone for Count Noctis on foot, probably the most competitive pick. Luther Harkin as well is very powerful, but Count Noctis on foot is just so goddamn tanky, and he is going to be bringing all the nasty summons, so certainly going to be tempting to summon up and kind of plug in the holes of his formation here. So we are going to fast forward quickly, as it looks like, yeah, he's fully going to tuck himself away in the corner there. It looks like the Dark Shards are starting to advance it. So we'll slow down once the battle actually gets underway. A few shots coming in, doing some decent damage, but the main line of the Dark Elves is starting to approach here. And my god, you can see those Bleak Swords get absolutely wrecked by all the fire. And it looks like even the Manticore is as well, but the War Hydras are going to be absolute world beaters up against this. Looks like the deck gunners are obstructed. And War Hydra has pushed in, going to be able to do some decent damage and break through these polearms relatively quickly. A lovely breath coming in by the Chill of Sontar, pulls these deck gunners down to nearly half health and does some decent damage as well up against the zombie gunnery mobs. The rest of the Dark Elf forces are starting to circle in. Shades have now appeared and are loosing arrows from the dark on top of these deck gunners, absolutely deleting these guys, which is always good to see. The Chill of Sontar coming in and eating deck gunners, tasty little snacks for him indeed. Looks like, unfortunately, that Flying Manticore has been pushed back here, but the Dark Riders are riding through the gap made earlier by the Chill of Sontar and pushing into this back line. Very epic style here. They are going to be met by some polearms. They want to keep pushing through as much as possible and start shutting down these carronades. You can see a unit has managed to thread the needle through the gap here. They can simply hop on top of these mortars. They will get deleted very quickly. Another Manticore has been summoned as well. So in come the Dark Riders going to be running over these mortars, and that's going to be game for a lot of these guys. However, playing so close to the edge of the battlefield, the Dark Elves, every time they break, of course, because unlike the Undead who just crumble, they will be fleeing off the board pretty much instantly here, which could be a deciding factor. Chill of Sontar does have the Wild Form popped on top of him, increasing his armor and base weapon damage. Up against Count Noculus though, who is an anti-large duelist, so he should probably be fine. Chill of Sontar probably wants to find some new homes and just crush these Carronades where possible. Now, the Mortars have been doing some okay work. The Shades have started to be destroyed a little bit here. See, one unit already has been forced off, but the Chill of Sontar is breaking his way into the back lines. Dark Riders as well, simply going to be running over mortar crews, which we like to see. Carronades as well have been shut down pretty damn effectively. Shade Wraiths are currently in combat up against the War Hydra, who does have hands and tentacle pelts popped on him at the moment for that added speed and the like. I mean, the Shade Wraith gunners aren't really going to be able to do anything in combat, to be honest, and they're simply getting clubbed. Yes, they may be ethereal, but he is still a Hydra, and he will burn you with holy fire. So the Ferromancer Corps and Dark Riders have swarmed the back line now. Looks like most of the mortars, for the most part, are going to be completely shut down. Chill of Sontar still trying to munch on Count Noculus. I don't know if he necessarily wants to be in this fight, but at the same time it's distracting the Count while the rest of his troops do get cleaned up here. Low kill Fairheart in the front lines, up to 48 kills, very impressive, carving his way through some zombies. Looks like he's trying to push through his brethren though, and I think I know who he's going to have sights on. It looks like he is desperately trying to get towards Count Noculus, but he's getting a little bit distracted by some zombies. I do this all the time in video games. You see some zombies, you want to beat them up, it's natural. Sorcerer Beast looked like she was casting a spell here. Hydras are starting to roam. Now the backline is relatively secure for the Dark Elves now. There is no real kind of threat of pressure anyway, but the Mortars have been shut down, so this unit of Shades is fully fine, and a couple of units here as well starting to drag their way back. It's nice someone in the back lines though to shut down the Shades is being popped, but it looks like it's pretty much game over. Balance power very favoured in the Dark Elf forces. A nice breath attack as well, just clipping a few of those gunnery mobs, but they just simply do not have anywhere near enough troops for protection. Mortars are getting stomped fully now by the Chill of Sontar, as some Bleak Swords desperately trying to get revenge for their early brethren who did fall down. Getting in here, and you can see, yeah, the Mortar is going to be crumbling very, very quickly. Shade Wraith Gunners trying to get some Overwatch fire on top of the War Hydra, but the Sorcerer Beast looking like she may even get in here, and we have the dreaded duel. Count Noculus is darting away there, trying to hide behind his zombies, but Loki Felhart cleaving his way towards the counter, and he should be able to chew him up pretty damn tasty. Loki is a far better duelist than Count Noculus, who is still incredibly tanky, especially with invocations and all that kind of good stuff. Looks like Arcane Conduit is going to be coming down for now. Loki, however, is being buffed up by not only the dreaded duelist, but as well as the Wild Form and Foe Seeker, so he should be pulling Count Noculus apart relatively quickly. Bleak Swords as well have Weiss and Wild Form on them, and they're tearing through these deckhand mobs, up to 105 kills. Very good stuff. So War Hydra is going to be eating gunnery mobs here, doing some decent work. Armor losses is starting to set in. You can see the leadership does break on the filthy Vampire Count forces, or Vampire Pirate forces, sorry, and they are starting to crumble and go down, and that is going to be game to the Dark Elves. So well played to the Dark Elf player. I'm not going to lie, I'm not a big fan of this kind of style of tactic, hiding in the corner, and we'll speak about more about that, I suppose, after the end game. So their pick victory, well done to the Dark Elf forces, and to Sweaty Cheese. I suppose if anyone does have the correct name to take on someone who camps in the corner, Sweaty Cheese does seem like a decent name for it. So well played, and thank you for sending in this replay. Now, a few people have come up against Master Corner Camper before. There's a really good video over on Poison Ducky's YouTube channel illustrating the exact same style of battle. So honestly, guys, to new players out there, I'm sure experienced players probably know about him. At least he's honest, I suppose, in his name. But if you do come up against someone like this and you play them multiple times, what I do is I just jot their name down. If anyone, quick locks or kind of cheats, or I don't know if it's a cheat, but hides in the corner, kite draws, that type of stuff, I just have a list of names jotted down, and if I match with them again on quick battles, I simply won't play them. But anyway, it was quite still a fun game overall. It's always good to see the double War Hydra get in there and chew up some troops, and proves that kind of hiding in the corner with a ridiculous amount of artillery may work in campaign, but unfortunately on multiplayer most time you will get stomped simply because you get overrun very, very quickly. I really like the inclusion here as well of Lokir Felhart, doing some decent work overall. But anyway, guys, hope you did enjoy. If you did, please feel free to give the video a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, as we do go on the road to 1,000 subs. We're getting very close now. It's pretty damn exciting times. If you want to see your own replays up on the channel, get involved in King of the Hills tournaments and the like, feel free to join my Discord. There's a link just down below in the description. Anyway, guys, until next time, peace, and as always, stay awesome.